So you were working at PlayStation, and I'm curious, was it a challenge to get them to support this idea of doing something like that?
Not really. I think PlayStation, they gave me the opportunity to be creative, and they gave me the platform to say, hey, you have us. Whatever it is that your heart desires, utilize us for. And I had a really great team, really a supportive team that kind of helped me actually do what I wanted to do. So when I came with the idea, they was like, that's amazing.
You are listening to the Global CTE podcast with your host, Sylvester Chisom.
Welcome, my friend, to another episode of the Global CTE podcast. I am your host, Sylvester Chisom. This is the place where we want to wrap a blanket of goodwill around the career tech education community, where I interview the best, the brightest, the movers, the shakers, the innovators. And today is no different. I have my good friend, Mr. Robert Powell here. Now, let me tell you about Rob. Robert is the founder and CEO of BGG Foundation, a gaming nonprofit based in St. Louis. With a deep love for gaming and a desire to empower youth, Robert established a foundation to provide resources and opportunities for students to turn their passion for gaming into a full-time career. Through initiatives such as hosting tournaments, securing esports scholarships, programs, and partnerships with the gaming industry, Robert strives to make a positive and lasting impact on the lives of young gamers. Rob, welcome to the show.
Yes, thanks for having me. It's an honor to be on the platform. And I appreciate you for, extending the invite to, create this really good dialogue around what we're doing, this positive impact. So I appreciate you, bro. Salute.
Absolutely. This is a conversation that I have been looking forward to. It's necessary. It's an exciting time in the esports and gaming industry. And our educators are still trying to understand it. And I think bringing subject matter expert and leader in the space on like yourself will only help our audience, our learning community, to really understand the power, the impact, and the careers and the real money connected to what's happening. Before we jump into all of that, man, like, what's the origin story? How did you get here?
Let's see. I feel like the origin, it started in 2017. I did my first ever event in 2017. I was working for Sony PlayStation, and I would basically get one day a year to do something philanthropic. So I would take that opportunity to go to my high school, my old high school here in St. Louis on the south side, Carnahan, bring PlayStation there with me to be able to make an impact. And at first, I honestly didn't think that it would be something that would come back full circle like this. I just thought it would be something cool to do, to go back to my school. I had my old teachers there. I had a really good relationship with the principal. And I was like, let me pour into these kids, which let's make an impact. So I went there and we did our first ever event with my boy, Kevin Pulley, Mr. Pulley. What's up, Pulley, if you see this? But he had a mass communication class. So I would go there and we bought the VR, the new virtual reality at the time when it first came out. I brought it to them in 2017 and they were trying to showcase what it would look like. So they were actually talking about two viewpoints from recording videos in regular time, but also recording them in the VR headset. So you can be able to see two different points of views. That was the first time we've ever brought PlayStation into the St. Louis public school system around gaming and education. And then from there, man, it's taken off.
That's crazy. So you were working at PlayStation. I'm curious, was it a challenge to get them to support this idea of doing something like that with the school?
Honestly, not really. PlayStation, they gave me the opportunity to be creative, and they gave me the platform to say, hey, you have us. Whatever it is that your heart desires, utilize us for. And I had a really great team, really a supportive team that helped me actually do what I wanted to do. So when I came with the idea, they was like, that's amazing. Hell yeah, whatever you need. James Joy, shout out to my boy James, who works with me to this day on actually seeing what we were doing. And it got so, crazy to a point where they were actually trying to tell me to show other people at PlayStation how to go into their communities to do it. It was something that was not easy to kind of teach because I had the relationships. I'm from St. Louis. I was an at-risk kid. So a lot of times the teachers that see me grow up will see that I had leadership qualities and they knew that the kids would listen to me. So it was kind of easy for them to put me in position, go to the board of education, talk to superintendents and actually see how we can be able to implement gaming into the education.
That's crazy. And so from there, was that the aha moment for you to say, like, how can I do more of this?
Yeah, it was definitely the aha moment. Because, working for PlayStation, that was like a dream for me. And it changed my life. It allowed me an opportunity to develop. It allowed me to be creative, especially with this philanthropy opportunity. And it gave me a sense of community. So from there, I would figure, like, I love doing this. And how could I do this more? Over time, it got to a point where the schools were actually calling me like, hey, can you come back and do something like this for our kids again? Yeah. And then I was like, okay, yeah, I'll come back. So we came from doing one a year to like, 5, and then to like 10, and to more and more and more. Then other schools wanted to understand about it. And then, it got to a point where we were doing convention shows. We were doing Anime St. Louis. We started to travel around and do just bigger like pop-up experience until now we're able to do stuff on behalf of the foundation instead of just as one brand. Yeah,
I really like that. But I do want to go back because you said something, the career, like PlayStation was a part of that first aha moment. You had a career. Like, talk to me about what was that dream job that you had at PlayStation?
So it was a marketing opportunity where I would basically uphold PlayStation's marketing across the whole Midwest. So all of the Best Buys, Walmarts, Targets, GameStops, Toys R Us, how PlayStation was being represented in these locations. That was my responsibility to change out marketing materials, to change out consoles if those was down, like put in massive orders to make sure that the brand of PlayStation was marketed, at the highest level. So you can go to I'll go to a Walmart in Chicago or a Walmart in Deloge, Illinois, like crazy areas where, I'll be like, what's going on out here? I'll be driving, man. I'll be passing cornfields and get past the cornfields to the Walmart. You feel me?
In the Walmart?
Walmart just sitting right there with a GameStop. And I go and I see like old stuff, man, from like 2001. And it's just like the brand wasn't being represented the right way. So, the marketing team that I was a part of, they gave me the freedom to control all of this PlayStation, brand marketing. So that was something that was so cool because I also got a chance to travel. I was a part of E3. I would go to different conferences, PlayStation Experience, and then we'd be able to provide gaming experiences. So if you go to E3, you'll see like the new God of War, whole like God of War experience. You can walk into, Ragnarok and you'll see the ground looking like PlayStation, the game. You'll see Kratos there. You'll see his son Atreus. And these experiences for the fans was something that I loved. And giving them that experience was amazing.
That's incredible. I wanted to ask you, give me a leadership lesson that you learned from your time PlayStation, something you learned.
Yeah, so the business of gaming, man, honestly, leadership on the sense of I was able to not only enjoy being a fan, but I was also able to absorb the business. And from being able to understand the real power of play, that was something of work hard, play hard, like that was a real thing. So of course I will be grinding so much throughout my journey, but the leadership aspect of it came from absorbing the business and then taking that business into something that I can be able to establish of my own. Everything that I've done in my life, I practice what I preach. So everything that I've done, it came back full circle to be able to empower my entrepreneur side.
That's powerful, man. I like that. The business of play. Man, I want to go back because I want to go like way back because I know you're working with the youth in the schools now through the foundation, but I'm curious, was there like particular moment or experience in your youth that ignited your passion for gaming and technology?
So of course I'm just like any other gamer, man. I use gaming as a way to escape my reality too. I'm one of 9. I got 4 brothers and 4 sisters. So I got a pretty big family. And my pops, man, my dad, I give my pops a lot of credit, man. He just spent so much money on games for me and my brothers. It's the next day I'm dragging him out the house. We used to do midnight releases. So we'll go out to a GameStop at 11:30, stand out there for 30 minutes to get the game that we wanted. He'll just be like, I'm in the car, man, just get your game and come back. It was a point where my father would literally bring all of my brothers and sisters to the house, my cousins, and we would play this game called Bloody Roar. Man, he'll kick us so bad, bro. He'll beat us all so bad in this game called Bloody Roar. It got to the point where I started practicing. Every time I play, I'll be like, I'm getting better. And then the day that I beat my dad, man, in front of everybody, he sent me to my room. You feel me? He told me, he's like, get out of here, go to your room. You know what I'm saying? And I was laughing so hard. I'm in there. I'm just like, I got something, and that passion, that love was there, like that competitive, that love for it, that drive for it. I just had a passion for gaming. And then I used to also beg my teachers when I was in, middle school and high school to let me bring, my PlayStation 2 to school. Let me game with my friends. And they would let me, like my teachers. That's so crazy about it. I just had this mindset where I just could do whatever I set my mind to, and it will happen. But I always had my own community of friends that love gaming, and we'll talk about it. We'll come to school with it. They'll give us some time to play it in the cafeteria. They give us a TV. And from there, I always had a love for it. Even in college, I've always done this.
Man, that's salute. I think that's such a beautiful story when you think about adults in your life that saw the interest and they nurtured it instead of stumping on it.
Exactly.
Especially pops supporting that, and then the teachers, whoever those educators were, who saw this could actually
proposer, Mr. Pulley, they the ones that actually empowered me to actually do what I set my mind to and give me that nurturing, in a sense, nurture my hobby. And they didn't visualize that gaming could become this. But I appreciate them for letting me escape and do, something that I love with my friends in school. All
right, look, we had during our pre-show conversation, you said something, and I'm going to say it back to you, and I want you to expand. You said, everyone listening, stop telling your kids to get off the game. I think you're going to offend some people with that.
You got to stop telling your kids to get off the game. It's okay to be on the game. I definitely understand where it comes to certain ways that you have to parent. And of course, there's, like I said, the work hard, play hard mentality, establishing reaction. You do and you give. Or, it's kind of sometimes kids have to be pulled back and restrained, but other times kids are playing games to escape. They also, it's like music for them. It's something for them to be able to enjoy. Some kids play games to be able to cope with certain things that they're dealing with, but it's a release. It's an escape. I would never want to deprive or see a kid being deprived of something that they love to do. So if you're telling somebody to get off the game, to escape whatever that they're trying to escape, it's going to show eventually in some other ways. So you might see it in school. You might see it in bullying. You might see it how they react with people on social media because they're not allowed that release, that escape. It's everybody have their own things that they do. And not to say that nothing's better than the other, but when it comes to kids actually doing something that they enjoy doing, which is gaming, stop telling them to get off the game. It don't make no sense.
And so I like how you kind of lifted up a bit of the mental. There can be a positive mental health component to it. Most from definitely. Like you said, having that positive outlet in that way. And it's not taking any of the negative stuff with gaming. We're not talking about that, but we're saying it from, it can also be that positive side. Also, and talk to me about, let's go to the business of gaming so that people understand, our educators that are listening, the opportunities. I want to lead with what my guy in the previous podcast, Danny Martin, CEO and co-founder of Esports-Global, he told me there are over 200 digital careers connected to the gaming and esports industry. So talk to me about the careers, the business side of it.
It's always the world of gaming is amazing. You know what I'm saying? The gaming industry is valued at, I want to say $400 billion, and expected to grow, tremendously. So esport is an extremely lucrative career. The gaming industry is extremely lucrative, and it's so big. So when you really let's take a step back and talk about how big the gaming industry is, right? There's so many kids that want to rap. There's so many kids that want to be actors. The gaming industry is bigger than both combined. So we're talking billions of dollars. We want a piece of that. And, it's going to out-earn all of these things. If you want to work in the gaming industry, it offers different competitive salaries. I want to say 97,000 is just the bare average, and that's surpassing the national average of salaries by 30%. So I worked in the marketing sector working for PlayStation, but there's also, the game developer section. There's also the music composition sector of gaming. There's also, coding, IT, sales. It's so many different ways. But also we talk about esports. Esports is just another small, but very lucrative opportunity because prize money awarded in esport tournaments can exceed over $1 billion. In 2022, that's where it was over $1 billion in prizes that people can be able to earn. But gaming, man, the business of gaming is here. And of course, gaming is making a real life difference. The mental capacity aspect of it, games can have mental health benefits, and games can actually improve life skills for kids. And we do these things and showcase them through our programs and initiatives that we have. But to create that space of inclusion and support and respect, kids to actually come out with better life skills than they went into our programs. So like we trying to actually help them turn that, we've been putting money in the industry hands for decades, and we haven't learned how to be able to profit on our own with gaming. So like now it's time to change the narrative.
Yeah. Man, thank you for the work you're leading at BGG Foundation. And I want to go a little deeper on that. Like make it tangible. Tell me a story about a student who's been impacted in a positive way in gaming from the BGG Foundation.
So I always resort to my first intern. Her name is Zoe, like the sweetest, young lady. We met her we did an event at Anime St. Louis. It's the biggest anime convention here in St. Louis. Kids dress up in cosplay. They come out with Pokeballs, man. They have a blast, man. It's food vendors. It's like the culture of anime, gaming, and just, the youth. So we'll partner with them and we'll bring like consoles. We did a Dragon Ball FighterZ tournament. We did like a Yu Yu Hakusho tournament, but we were able to give kids like really cool anime prizes. So we had a Dragon Ball Z Broly necklace, rings. It was super authentic, gaming stuff. We were giving anime stuff we were giving kids. But I met this girl named Zoe. She was a part of our Mortal Kombat tournament. Young African-American female who was bodying everybody in Mortal Kombat. And I was just like, who is this girl? She's so full of energy, she couldn't sit down and play. She had to stand up, so she all into it. And I was just loving it. I was like, this is what I'm talking about. This is why we do this. But I took a step back to connect with her grandmother, and her grandmother was like, I haven't seen Zoe like this ever. It's been so long since I even seen her come out. Like, this is all new to me. She doesn't really know about gaming. She don't know about anime, but she knew that was something her granddaughter wanted to do. So she brought her there. But in hindsight, she was also telling me about the traumas that she was really dealing with. And she was a part of the Central VAP school shooting. And that was a school shooting that happened here in St. Louis. And Zoe had to kind of be in a point where she had to save her own life, to the point that she had to either escape out of a window of the school and try to save her life. But it was so traumatizing to her that she didn't want to go back to school. She was homeschooled. And her being homeschooled, they wouldn't even allow her to go to the next grade level because the traumas. And from her connecting with us at this event, she wanted to come to another event that we did. So she came to the next one, the next one, the next one, the next one, like so many different events that we've thrown. And I got to the point where I was like, you're always at these events with us, Zoe. She was like, I was like, why don't you become an intern? Why don't you come out? She started coming out, helping us with events at St. Louis University, competing in tournaments, to the point that she's even having a scholarship waiting on her to graduate. But it's just at a sense where the impact was happening. But in hindsight, we experience things in real time as people. So, you don't really process it as you go on. But when you start to really look back in hindsight, I started to notice that the foundation was that safe place for her. It was a place for her to be able to come out of her shell. She was able to make more friends. She was able to come out. She was on the news with us. She was able to do so many different things that her family never even knew that was possible in this space. So, her story, man, is tremendous. And I think her adversity, her perseverance, man, is even more, impactful to us. But I got nothing but love for Zoe, and that's my true first intern and our MK champion. So we're gonna be rooting with her till the wheels fall off.
Yeah, salute to Zoe, man. That's thank you for sharing that story.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the answer going to more of a like some career or something connection, but I appreciate the humanity that you brought to the answer in talking about how the BGG Foundation, you're creating that safe space for students, for young people who have that interest.
Yeah. And I know we can really get into a lot of data and analytics and, what is it going to come out of this? But, we do this. I do this for the impact, man. I really do it because I have a passion to, be the hero that I needed when I was a kid for these youth. And, I didn't realize the impact that we were making around student empowerment, workforce development, community development, violence prevention, digital inclusion, all of these things. come from this space, but the space is meant to be a space of respect, safety, encouragement, and, providing opportunities and, like the scholarships and putting money in their pocket, because this is something that's going to impact them to not only talk about it when they go home, but to also have that word of mouth to talk about it to anybody else that they come across.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk to me about what does it look like for a school district to work with your organization? Like, talk to me about that. What's that look like?
So we do events. We work with schools at a district level. So sometimes we have personal relationships with principals. They say, hey, Rob, I need you to come do a student appreciation for me. I'm like, I got you. I'm there. But it's more so about how many schools do they want us to go to. We can map out how many schools a year do they want us to go to. The Ferguson-Florissant School District and St. Louis Public School District. Those two districts, that's 50,000 kids total, in a sense, but they have over 50 schools together. So it's more so about pointing us to the schools. And I'm not saying that I want to go to your best school. Like, send me to the slums, what I'm saying? Send me to the ones where they're struggling. There's at-risk kids. There's ones that actually need, because they need the impact, man. Those are the kids the school to prison pipeline is a real thing, man. And we invest. It's more like, what type of reach are we trying to make? I look at it as a proactive reach. Like, I want to take a proactive measure to hit a kid, in a sense, impact wise, to impact them before they get to the point where it's too late. By the time you get out of high school, your chances of continuing that at-risk behavior is at an all-time high. But if we take that proactive measure to actually impact kids younger, before they even get to the point where they feel like nobody respects them, nobody's looking at them, nobody sees them for who they are, and there's no opportunities extended to them because they are in these disadvantaged areas where, you're supposed to be a statistic. Those are the ones I work with. So it's more so about working with a district, how many schools you have, how many kids you want us to impact, and then we set it up from there.
Absolutely. I love it. So for like my CTE educators that are listening, talk to me a little more about, like, how does the BGG Foundation not only develop the gaming skills, but also maybe introduce them to career opportunities or, corporate events that maybe they wouldn't normally have exposure to. Talk to me some about that.
Yeah, so we work with students. The space that we create, it allows a lot of kids to communicate with us. And, so many kids say, like, I want to be a streamer, or how do I work for PlayStation? What is the path that I need to take? And that's really us identifying whatever it is that the students want to do. So if they want a path to the gaming industry, we help them explore the industry. We help them develop those skills. We help them build a strong foundation by, pursuing the relevant college information, building a professional network, building a portfolio, gaining that actual experience by participating in these tournaments, and even getting them internship opportunities with us. And then also applying for those gaming industry jobs. We help them create that tailored resume, cover letters. We help them prepare for interviews. Even if they apply, we do follow-ups. Even if students want to be esports players, it's the same thing. We help them set that foundation, develop those skills. We put them in different competitive plays and with universities as well. So we work with different universities in our network. So St. Louis University, Maryville, Lindenwood, UMSL. There's the St. Louis Health and Pharmacy University that has an esports team, right? It's crazy. Yeah, they have an esports team. But also talking to those esports head coaches and actually inviting them out to our events so they can see the talent at a community level. But also we teach kids about using gaming to be a brand. I'm so big on entrepreneurship, but I'm also big on getting the degree. You feel me? You can walk and chew gum at the same time. And of course, I got black skin, so I have to do everything. One roadmap isn't just one roadmap for me. I have my degree. I worked in the industry. I use gaming to be a brand. And it allowed me to empower myself by also making money, but also doing what I was passionate about. So,
absolutely. Yeah, no, man. Thank you for sharing that insight. But I think that's it, man. When you think about us trying to prepare young people to find success out here in this world as adults, we want them to see themselves in the work. So that's like, okay, I uncovered my passion. Now, what's something that can make economic sense, whether it's me going career-wise, credential-wise, or starting a business that's something connected to something I love, because, you know, like you're going to be more willing to persist and stick with it. For sure.
Yeah. That's finding that passion.
Go.
No, that's it. It's like if you're not passionate about something, man, it'll show.
For sure.
If you're motivated to do something, it'll show too.
I'm curious, like as you talking, I'm thinking, if you were
what's up?
I'm gonna create this hypothetical world. Okay.
All right.
I'm talking to Principal Robert Powell here at his own school for his own high school. How would you incorporate esports and gaming into a high school? Like if you were to try to expose the young people to the opportunities that were available. I'm curious, what would you do?
So I would literally have game-based learning, right? You know, like I will have game-based learning. I'll develop educational programs to focus on data awareness, privacy, games that can engage students in interactive scenarios that like require them to, you know, make decisions about how they share data and privacy and online security. And through like gameplay, students can learn about the potential risk and benefits of data usage. Like these things around gaming, it's data, you know what I'm saying? And it's data literacy. So these curriculums, I will implement all of these things, even the stuff that we talk about. But I also collaborate with other educational institutes to kind of show them that data literacy as a curriculum could be something that everybody can be able to understand. And then design lessons that teach students how to analyze and interpret these things through gameplay to access and understand what they're perceiving, what they're seeing, like how they're engaging with the data and how they can make informed decisions based on, you know, data-driven insights. So it's like my school will be on fire, by the way. It'd be lit. It'd be super lit. And it'll be a lot of fun. But I think it would just be a way to be a super interactive opportunity for these kids, something that they're going to be like, what am I going to learn today? What am I going to be to play today? You know, but also with my partnerships with the industry, have somebody from PlayStation, you know, Microsoft, Nintendo, Riot Games, Fortnite, the creators, Epic Games, to be able to be a voice in the school as well. So like to talk about what it is that they do in a day-to-day, but also implement like Fortnite to create something really cool for my class, for my school. You know what I'm saying? Like the BGG University, the BGG High School Fortnite map, where my students can go in there and have a blast. You know what I'm saying?
That would be crazy.
That's the innovation, but that's going to get a lot of students, you know, so excited to be able to come to school, engage with us. And of course, I'm going to be catching W's because they got to see me too. And you know, it's not, I'm not going to be like, oh, I can't play either. You know, I'm like, yeah, get on the sticks. I'm going to show y'all what's up. You know what I'm saying? Like that. It's in the sense of,
I can see you keeping it outside your door. You have your record, your score, 46-0.
Yeah, 400-0. And then at the same time, if the kids do beat me, like what goes on now is I started the foundation. I used to be on YouTube. Bro Got Game was on YouTube. So a lot of the kids that know me would challenge me, man, in Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Street Fighter. And man, I'll beat them so bad, man. I'll do them so bad. And then I'll put it on YouTube, and then we'll make like funny memes out of it. We'll kind of have a crazy like banter back and forth. But I don't know why my kids want to see me lose so bad, man, in games, man. They like they'll have people literally come just to play me in certain games. Like, hey, Rob, I got my cousin, I got my uncle, man. They want to play you next. I'm like, let's go. And then I'll beat them, and then, you know, we'll have so much fun with it. But I'll have something really cool to actually showcase who beats me. You know, I'll give them recognition, like, you got me. All right, you got the W. Here's your, you know, you got the highlight. You can brag on it. You can roast me, whatever, because it's not an easy feat.
Man, I love it. I don't know. I guess I was going to say my last question, but I feel like you kind of answered it. This is what I ask everyone is like, what's your vision for the future of career tech education? And I'm curious your thoughts through the lens of gaming, if you want to add any more to that.
No, I do think this is growing. I feel like we started it in 2017, so I kind of seen where it was going. But what is happening now is schools are doing it. Schools are adding esport opportunities into their schools. I honestly feel like they're doing it because it's hot in a sense right now, but there's no direction for these kids who are actually a part of these programs. Are they going to college to do it? Are they doing it to use it to be a brand? Are they doing it to be on Twitch? Or are they just gaming because it's an opportunity to do it in school? Gaming and esports are not the same. So there's always a level to it. But, my vision for
break that down before you go in it, because I think people just kind of use them interchangeably.
Yeah.
What's the difference between gaming and esports?
So gaming, so esports is really like a sport. It's really like basketball. It's like football. It's like, an athlete that studies films. They practice. They got a camaraderie with their team where they can actually like break down what they've done previous in the last match and how can we work together to make sure that we don't catch no more L's. In a sense, gaming is something that you do to have fun and pass time, or also to be able to collaborate, network. I'm not going to say that it's bad neither, because it's the gateway to esports. So I'm not going to say schools are wrong for having those, but it's like, what is the plan overall for these kids to game? Are they playing the games that's going to get them scholarships and put money in their pocket? 2K and Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty, those are cool. But Valorant, League of Legends, Apex, Overwatch, Rocket League, Smash Brothers, like these are games that these universities want to see you play. And not only that, are they actually building the gaming portfolios for these students to be recognized by these universities? Those are the things that I find often that I'm doing for students, is building them these portfolios so that these head coaches can see like their skills. Other than just saying like, oh, I was playing it in my school, and we didn't compete, or we competed, but I don't have the footage or the actual receipts to show that I was the best, player here. So like those are the things I find myself often working with. But I feel like what we're doing as a foundation is we're creating that platform. So my vision for that is we're going to be starting a series of tournaments across St. Louis. So we're going to be all across. So the north side, the south side, the west side, and we're going to do our final tournament downtown. I'm also working with the county library. So I'm going to be in the county working with kids on, finding them to actually be a part of these tournaments. So I'm combining city kids, county kids, public schools, county schools, all over to be able to find the best gamers. But not only to find the best gamers, but to give each one of them platforms to be able to showcase their skills, network, find friends, connect with the industry, PlayStation, and all of my other partnerships, but also to have universities there to see the gameplay, to be able to find like, hey, this kid has potential. How can we bring him to Maryville to actually showcase and hone those skills? And it's just like, it's going to be a give in a sense. That's the ultimate goal, though.
Thank you for breaking that down. The difference between esports and gaming. Gaming is the gateway that leads to esports.
Yep.
And for those who are operating or introducing this into the school district, I'm hearing you say it's important that we're thoughtful about what's next, what's after this, not just doing it because it's a hot trend, but thinking about what are the games we're going to emphasize and making sure that they have those digital portfolios so that the opportunity for scholarship is available, because there's certain games that the next level is looking for.
Yep, and that's it. Once they identify that, but also we still are at a how can I say it? It's a culture disadvantage when it comes to what we play as a culture and what they're looking for us to play. And I also know about accessibility. I know the kids can't afford the newest, PC. They can't afford the newest console. But if we are showing them, like, if you're good at Call of Duty, you can play Valorant. Valorant is a game by Riot Games. It's not as graphic. It's still a shooter, first-person shooter. And you can be able to go on there and play with your friends and everything else. It's a PC-based game. But I see so many kids that are so nice at Call of Duty, Rainbow Six, Siege, Fortnite. But if they showcase their ability on Valorant, like, that's opportunity for them, man. That's money in their pocket. So that's where I find myself trying to change the narrative in the sense of, like, what are we playing for real to put money in your pocket? I'm talking big money. Now, we can do the 2Ks, we can do the Maddens, we can do whatever that they want to play in these schools. But at the same time, this is the gateway. I'm trying to open up y'all minds to be able to show y'all, like, these are the games that they want to see. And
when you say big money, say what, like, what's that mean?
Millions, man, millions of dollars.
Wow.
Valorant tournaments, man, they're cracking millions, and you can leave with a a 6-figure one-time payment if you're good at Valorant. You and your whole team can leave with over a full salary. It's just more so about getting them aware of it, but not only just saying that I want to play it. I'm not saying that I can make you the best esports player, but I can give you the tools to take it serious. And it's up to you and your hustle, your determination to show me that this is, you're worth us pouring the resources into, but it starts with you. I need to see that work. I need to see that work hard, play hard mentality, because, that's what we really try to instill into these kids that we work with.
Outstanding. So you dropped a lot of gems here. I know that's a real big one though. Even for me, like I didn't know that part, that being how important it is to be intentional about what games are we playing and encouraging, and making sure we're tracking that digital portfolio piece of the gameplay. That's powerful. Yeah. If someone listening wants to engage with you, whether it's to have you consult on building out their gaming or esports program, or bring you in for an event, or partner with you, how should they get in touch with you?
Yeah, I love to. And we definitely consult. We help out with a lot of different things, but hit me up at on my website at bggfoundation.net, or email me at robertpowell@bggfoundation.net. You can hit me up on Instagram at bggfndn, and then I also have a personal one on there at Rob Rubber. So, or we on Facebook, we on Twitter, we on TikTok, we everywhere.
You say everywhere? Say just Google it. And I'll definitely include that contact information in the show notes for sure. Rob, thank you so much for taking the time today to share your insights and wisdom with our learning community. To my listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, don't be selfish. Share it with a friend or a colleague, so we can prepare these young people with this knowledge for these future careers. This is it. The careers of the future are definitely connected to gaming and esports. So until the next episode, remember, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Global CTE podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe to be the first to know about future episodes.